Welcome back. We have a new edition of Wild Wednesday today with the Great Plains Zoo bringing in a small, furry guest who may be misunderstood.
Education and Management Manager Lee Spencer joins us with a rose-haired tarantula named Rosie.
Yes.
Thank you both for coming in.
No problem.
So like we said, I mean, there's a lot of misunderstanding on this very unique critter. Could you just kind of walk us through what does a tarantula do and what's important about it?
So a lot of people have sort of an innate fear of spiders. It's mostly due to how they move and just, you know, the things that we've heard about spiders. Tarantulas being big, because they're large, for a lot of people that amplifies that fear. But really, as tarantulas go, the rose-haired tarantula and all of the South American tarantulas are really fairly laid back to spiders. They're mostly going to hide. Their first defense is hiding, and then they actually have hairs on their abdomen, the big part on the back, that they'll kick into the air, and they irritate skin. And so that's their first predator defense, is to kick up a little cloud of the hairs, and then while the predator's dealing with that, they run away. So venom is really their last defense, their bite. They do have fangs. All spiders have venom. That's how they subdue their prey. But very few spiders in the U.S., and no tarantulas in South America at least, have a venom that's medically significant, that's going to make people sick. So with tarantulas, they have pretty big fangs because they're a pretty big spider. The bite itself would hurt probably more than the venom. It's going to be a lot like a bee sting. Some people have a stronger reaction, but not anything that's going to make people sick.
Yeah, you see tarantulas in pet stores, so people can have like a tarantula like this for a pet, couldn't you?
For sure, yep. And the rose hair is probably the most common kept as a pet. Most of the pet tarantulas that you see are species from South America. The Asian and African species tend to be faster. They tend to be more willing to bite. So those are considered a more advanced tarantula, whereas the South American ones are pretty relaxed and chill. There's also some Mexican species. We do have a couple species native to the U.S. in Texas and Arizona, and those tend to be ones that are in that same family as the South American ones.
And now Rosie has some years on her.
She does.
Can you explain the age difference?
Sure. So with tarantulas, the males only, or the rose hair specifically, the males only live to be 3 to 5 years old. With good care, a female can live to be into her 20s.
Wow.
We are not for
Big
sure
difference.
how old Rosie is, but we know she's at least in her late teens, if not her early 20s.
Wow.
I'm glad you've kept Rosie in the
She's much
canister this morning.
more, calm to, be around in there. But
She's more comfortable with it too.
Yeah.
So that works.
Do you ever hold? I mean, when people see Rosie at the zoo, can they hold her? Or
So
would you rather not?
Because she is a distinguished elderly lady, we let her stay in her box. It's less stressful for her. It's definitely not as big a deal. We have other tarantulas that our staff can handle on their hand, but that's really the extent of what we do. Tarantulas are very fragile. So if a tarantula falls, they can actually crack their exoskeleton, and they don't have blood. They have something similar. They have a liquid-like blood, and they move through hydraulics almost with that liquid. And so if their exoskeleton cracks, it will leak out, and it can actually be really dangerous for them to fall. So we're very careful when we do handle them on the hand. When we are getting her loaded up and put in her box here, we're very careful to make sure that we're moving slowly in a way that she can understand and predict, so that she is not at risk.
okay, the more you learn and the more you know.
Well, hey, thanks for bringing Rosie in this morning.
She
You can see her at the zoo if you go out there.
Yeah, so she's actually one that our junior zookeepers bring out for our creature features, which we do twice a day or in the summer. She's not at every creature feature, but she is one that they bring out a couple times a week.
Well, wonderful. Well, this definitely debunked my fears, so hopefully viewers as well will learn to love the Rosies out there. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lee. Well, stay with us. Fastcast is next.